Good afternoon. So it's Saturday. Or Friday. It's Friday. I want to take a walk. So that's what I'm doing. I was gonna hop on the bus and take the trail the way I usually do, but I decided that I want to torture myself extra bad today, and I'm gonna actually take the trail in reverse, which is significantly harder of a trek. There's a lot more hills, but it is what it is. It's a different way of looking at things. I'm always looking at everything coming forward. This time, I get to look at everything in the other angle. I don't know why I'm doing it. I got the bus money ready, but I left the house like 20 minutes early. And I was just like, you know what? I'm not going to wait for the bus. I'm just going to go. So, here we are. I actually got like a fair amount to talk about if I remember everything. So we can, this is going to be a long hike, but we could do some chit-chatting, a good bit of chit-chatting. Right now, I'm walking down where I used to walk whenever I found that huge pile of copper by the river. I came this way because they killed a lot of that stuff, so I could actually see to walk through without it being a huge pain. So I decided to come down here because I can start filming a bit early. And I don't have to deal with, like, traffic and stuff. Now, I didn't decide if I want to follow this to the bridge, or if I want to hop off here at at where the gate is. And I'm thinking, probably the gate, because, yeah, I have to walk that annoying hill, which I could skip if I take the other way. But I'm not sure how long they work for today, or if they're working at all today. And I don't want to go all the way to the work site to find out there's a bunch of people there just to have to turn around. So, and then have to take the hill anyway. So it might be a little bit harder to do it this way, and it'll be less camera time and more in the public and whatnot, but it's the smarter choice. So, yeah, that's what I try to be. I try to be the smarter. I try not to be a hypocrite. I try to use my brain instead of just, not. So I'm wearing, like, super dirty, crappy, ugly clothes. So if anybody sees me, they're gonna think I'm like some homeless guy, or I just went, like, mud wrestling a pig or something. Because yesterday I started digging out the hillside to level out the yard, and that's a bit of a pain to do. Car has some copper, but not gonna mess with that. Got like a 1/16 of an ounce of copper on a 4-ounce piece of plastic. And if I cut the wires here, well, I didn't even bring my tools, but if I remove the wires here, however I would do it, I'd end up forgetting about them in my bag for like 3 months anyway. So, not gonna worry about it. So anyways, yeah, I've been doing some stuff. I've been digging out the hillside to make the yard more level. In which, you're probably thinking, if I'm planning to leave in spring, why the heck am I bothering? It's almost entirely because I have nothing better to do. Like, I got some cash again. I went and did a job, so I got some money. So I could go out, but I got no friends. I got barely any reason to go out. Almost every time I go out, I have a beer, maybe 2 beer, play pool by myself for an hour or 2, and then I go home. So it's like, is it worth paying almost triple for a beer just to play with myself? I could do that in my room, and it would be way cheaper. Haha, get it? Sorry. Alright, we're at the gate, so I'm gonna hop off here, and then I'll talk as soon as we're clear again. So it seems that I am all alone again on the trail. There's no cars on this side, so unless somebody walks all the way from the other side, or somebody was crazy and walked up here like I did, there is no people. So, like I said, double-edged sword. It's always nice to see people out doing stuff, especially stuff that I'd like to do. It increases the odds of finding somebody that I could actually talk to. But not seeing anybody means I get to talk to you guys. And I don't have to worry about drinking in public. So, there's two silver linings? Yeah. 2 silver linings. Alright. I want to start by talking about my business. I started a business. Of course, it's not official. It's not taxable. But it is, I think it's a rather clever and good idea. So, one of the reasons, okay, I was going to clean the attic eventually. I had 2 totes I had to fill up. I wanted to get rid of a bunch of old boxes and anything that was broken or useless I could throw in the trash, right? So I was gonna clean it eventually. But I expedited this little project because, my new business. For now, I don't have any customers yet, because who knows, I might never get a customer. But, I'm making baskets for basket parties. So, like, your friend dies, and you want to donate, but you have to work all week, so you don't have time. So here's how my business works, right? I build you a basket with, random stuff that I have in the attic. All brand new stuff, like brand new or basically brand new. Like nothing old, dirty, stained with age, brand new stuff. And I make a really nice presentable basket depending on the amount of money you give me. So if you give me $20, you're going to get an okay basket. And I said, my guarantee that it looks good. But it might not be, I'm not going to fill it with gold bars if you give me $20. But if you give me like $50, you're going to have a way better basket. Maybe it'll be bigger with a lot more stuff, or smaller with more valuable stuff. Something along those lines. And I thought this kills so many birds with one stone. Like, somebody orders a basket, I have a fun, nice project, I get some money, I clear out space. Like, it's a win-win-win. Like, there's no losing there. So, one downside I see already is that she's already talking about her cut of the money. And it's like, okay, so a portion of the items are more than likely hers, or Pap's. And getting some of the money, I'm not against it. I'm using her Facebook to advertise. And it is some of her merchandise going into the baskets. But I'm having the feeling that she's going to shoot for like half the money when I'm doing literally all the work. Just like now. I babysit, cut the grass, grocery shop, take out the trash, carry in the water, trim up the bushes, clean the attic, keep things presentable, cook more often now than I used to, and I get like $10 a month off her. So I guess it's not much has changed. You know, I do a ton of work, and you know, my all my work gets taxed as if somebody deserves it. Anyways, before I freak out, go on a rant. That's my idea. So, if she said, I would still feel bad about it because of how much time, money, or time and effort I'm putting into it. But if she said 25%, I don't think I'd argue. But I know how she is. You know, old, greedy hypocrite. Anyways, before I freak out on a tangent. So, I read up a Facebook post. I'm like, okay, listen up, guys. Here's the deal. I'm going to make basket party baskets for people that don't have the time or don't have the creativity to do it themselves. You give me an allotment of money, I'll make the basket. You have to pick up the basket because I don't have a car and I'm not mailing it to you. Because let's be real here, you know. An average basket at a basket party is probably like $40, alright? To ship it would probably be like $25. So it's like, or more. So it's like, you know, I'm not shipping them because that just adds a whole new layer of trouble. So it's you have to come pick them up, and you have to order 1 week in advance, so I have time to actually build it. Because I want to build taking into consideration how much they give me. I don't want to build baskets and have them sitting around. Because that's kind of, you know, counterproductive in a way. So that's my plan. Now let's talk about some of the stuff I've been doing. So I mentioned that I been digging on the hillside to fill in the different holes in the yard to make it more level. I mentioned that I made a little bit of cash. This old guy, right? Me and old guys, right? This old guy is like, I got a bunch of garbage in my basement, and I want it cleared so I have space to, you know, do whatever my old person self does. So I was like, okay, yeah, why not? You know, it's paying me, and it's sad when a random stranger pays me more for half the work I do than my own family. Oh man. Anyways, before I get angry, you won't like me when I'm angry. So, it was basically, the long and short of it was, you know, picking up maybe 100 pounds of cut up wood, 2x4s of plywood, and having them in a bucket for trash day. That was the basic job. He wanted some more done, but then when we got to the point, he's like, don't worry about it, it's enough for today. So I basically worked for an hour, and I got some cash. So that was nice. That was real nice. I've been doing some Halloween decorating, kind of. Not really much. I don't really do the decorating thing because it's just annoying, because then not only do you have to carry everything out of wherever you have it stored, you have to hang it, then you have to take it down and put it back, and all for basically nothing, because I don't really enjoy it. I enjoy watching other people's Yeah, I like going around seeing other people's lights and stuff. I don't like actually doing it. So I long story short, I was sifting through the boxes. I was separating things out, arts and crafts, holiday decorations, trash, and stuff for a potential future yard sale. Was kind of the categories I was going with. And I found these here little cheapo glow-in-the-dark skeletons. And there was 12 of them there was one pack and there was 12 of them in the pack. And they were just kind of like Christmas tree ornaments, except they didn't have a hook. So I had to get the twine I used to tie up the tomato plants, and I strung them up and tied them and put them on my banisters so they're hanging there. I already know that either they're not going to get enough light to be glowing when it's dark, or they're so old that they're not going to glow at all. But if they don't, the intent is to throw them in the trash after Halloween. That's the intent. Halloween's over, done decorating, going to the trash. I made homemade beef stew. That's not really earth-shattering. Beef stew's really simple. Anyone can make beef stew, especially if you use a slow cooker like I did. My only complaint was that the broth, I used beef bone broth, and I added 1 cup of water, and for some reason it was just super watery. It tasted watery. I didn't taste any of the beefy goodness. So that was weird. But overall, it turned out good. But like I said, it takes effort. It takes effort to screw up beef stew. So there's that. I'm back. I was gonna stop and take a break at the stone wall thing, but breaks are for pansies. Nah, I'll probably take a break at the bridge. And so funny story time, right? Story with Block. Story time with another Block. Here it goes, right? So I put down some burger meat last night, and I typically buy 3 or 5 pound packages, and then I separate them to the best of my capabilities into individual pounds, because then I make 3 third-pounder burgers, 2 for me, 1 for her, out of each helping, right? I don't weigh it. I just kind of guesstimate. Weighing your food and measuring your food is for, professional chefs, not plebs. So, I just eyeball it, right? So, the one particular ball of burger meat was ever so slightly smaller than the other ones. And I thought, instead of making burgers with it, I saw 2 boxes of Hamburger Helper that were in the cupboard. So I go and I brown up the meat, right? Get it nice and granulated, so there ain't no huge big old chunks. And I get it browned up, and I read the back, and it's 1.5 cup of water, 2 cups of milk. So I was like, well, I don't want to put water in my Hamburger Helper, so I'll just use milk. I'll just use that amount of milk, but I'll round it up a cup to make sure there's enough water to actually, cook the noodles. So I think it came out to 3.25 cups of liquid. But seeing that I was using milk for all of it, I did 4 cups of milk. So it would be, because I wanted to keep it thick, but I wanted to make sure the noodles got cooked, so it'd give it that extra moisture, in theory. And that part worked out great. Like, it was a very good consistency. It was like, did you ever have broccoli cheddar soup? Or cheddar broccoli soup, or whatever it's called? Like, it had that viscosity to it. So, it was pretty on the money for what I was going for. So I took a big old bowl of it. I go up to my room, and I'm eating it, watching some crap on YouTube. I've been watching the, like, crappy TikTok compilations of, like, people doing stupid stuff. Because everybody else on YouTube has been extra lame lately. So I resorted to watching people be stupid in short bursts. Anyways, so I'm eating it, and the first couple of bites are good, because I was freaking starving. I waited a while to cook it, because she was cooking when I went down in the morning, so I was like, well, crap, now I gotta wait like an hour for her food to be done, because she was baking something. So I had to wait like an hour, then I went and made it. But by that point, I was starving. So I went and I just started digging into it, right? I ate it all. Well, all but maybe a handful of noodles. The noodles were gummy, would be the best word to use. And initially, I thought I undercooked them. I thought I was in a hurry because I was hungry, and I cut it, just a couple minutes too short. And then my second thought was, maybe the milk was a bad idea. Maybe it wasn't enough water in the milk to actually cook the noodles. Then I had a genius idea. I had my third idea, which was the smart one. And I was like, I wonder how long that stuff was actually in the cupboard. So she already threw the box away. Like, we keep a bag on our back door to put trash in as we use it. And then she just throws it in the pantry, and then I bag it up in a big black bag. So that's how the trash system works in my house, right? So I guess she decided that bag was full enough, and she threw it out in the pantry. So instead of digging through the trash to find the box, I assumed that we bought both boxes probably on the same day. So I checked the other box. It was 3 years out of date. Now, it's dried cheese and spices, and probably pre-cooked noodles. So, like, ramen-y kind of style noodles. So, I figured that there's probably nothing really wrong with it other than the quality. Like, how it turned out was probably because of that. But there's probably nothing to worry about, because I ate a pretty big bowl of it. So I was sitting outside waiting to see if I started, like, retching up my breakfast. It all worked out. It was 3 years out of date, so I ended up going through a portion of the cupboard and getting rid of quite a few things that were out of date. And the thing is that gets me, right, it was like, I didn't think it was that long ago that I bought it. Like, I knew it was a long time, but I didn't think it was that long ago. Like, it expired 3 years ago. So that means I had to buy it longer than that ago. And another thing is, we barely ever eat Hamburger Helper. Like, it's super rare because it's just I would rather have a burger than make something out of it, or even Sloppy Joes, like, or tacos. Like, Hamburger Helper is like the last thing I think about. So, except for today, obviously. So yeah, it was 3 years old. She threw it all away. When I came downstairs, I was like, hey, did you eat it? She's like, no. She's like, the noodles weren't any good. I was like, yeah, it was 3 years out of date. She's like, you trying to kill me? I'm like, I'm not that lucky. And then I followed up with, Well, I ate it too, so the only difference would be, she's like 80 and, I'm not. But I didn't even get sick, so like I said, it's dried spices and cheese, dehydrated, probably, and probably pre-cooked noodles of some fashion. So there was really no harm. Like, the worst thing that could have happened would there have been like a bunch of bugs in it. And then it's just extra protein. I'm just kidding. That freaks me out. But I'm not a sissy about it. But it freaks me out. Alright. I'll talk to you guys when we get to the next bridge. And enjoy the scenery a little bit. So we're not even at the bridge yet, but I wanted to talk about something before I forgot. So yeah, I probably won't talk again until after the bridge and stuff, kind of get a view and whatnot, and see the trees and whatever else is going on around here. And we'll talk before I get to the next hill, because I won't talk walking up that hill, because I look like an old guy trying to huff and puff. Just kidding. The hill's annoying, but it's no worse than the one to get up here, so not that big of a deal. So, I made the wine. I brought my wine slushy with me. I froze it to stop the yeast production so I could actually drink it. It wasn't quite finished, but it slowed down drastically. I think I had it fermenting for about 10 days. This is all the autumn olives and all the grapes. It was full. I drank half of it yesterday, but it's all the autumn olives and all the grapes. The reason I did that is because they were really sour. Like, the grapes and the autumn olives were both pretty sour. So, and I didn't want them to go to waste. So I thought at the very least, I can make like a puckery alcoholic wine to drink. And that's what I did. It's not bad. Like, I don't think it's gonna win. It ain't winning no awards. But it's not the worst one I ever made. But I can't even humor a guess on how much alcohol's in it. I don't have one of those alcohol meters, whatever they are. ABV, the thermometers or whatever. So I can't really guess. But I gotta say it's gotta be real near completion. Because it was, and completion's usually like 16%, give or take. So it was rather dry. Like, it didn't have a lot of sugar left. So I did add a cup of sugar when it was done, and a few ounces of water to kind of numb out the warhead flavor that it was giving off, because it was pretty sour. So that dropped the alcohol content ever so slightly, but it makes it much more palatable. Like, before I added the stuff to it, I could have drank it and it would have been okay, but this, I almost enjoy drinking it. So there's that. Just your typical bread yeast. I mean, I almost kind of wished if I went through all the effort to pick the berries and went through all the effort to make it, like, I almost wished I had like actual winemaking stuff, like winemaking yeast. But I mean, it is what it is. Poor little guy. Dead mole. I always wanted to pet mole. Thought they'd be cool. Cool mole. We're at the first bridge. Well, I guess the second bridge, technically. I guess either way you go, it's the second bridge. But we're at the bridge. I think I'm going to walk for a little while until something hits me that I want to talk about. So, catch you in a bit. Well, probably about a third of the way out of here. and I am hungry. I ate an apple and a protein bar before I came, and I was like, that'll be enough. And I should have brought an apple and a protein bar with me, but oh well. If I can't survive walking out of here without food, I'm never going to cut it in the spring, so not that big of a deal. But it is kind of weird, because I made sure, like, I was going to bring food with me, and I was like, that's fine. A protein bar and an apple should hold me over. Wrong. But, alright, so, got a nice flat area before I get to the hill, so we'll talk for a while, and then when I get to the hill, I'm going to go and climb up the hill, and then we'll be in a nice flat area again. So, next order of business. I've been scrapping some more. Helping the old guy clean out his basement. He had 2 microwaves and a circular saw. He wanted to keep the microwave that worked, but I was like, if you don't want the one that doesn't work, and if you don't want that circular saw, I'll take it, because he said it didn't work either. So I've been doing a wee bit of scrapping. I didn't get a lot out of it. Like, the circular saw had an aluminum body. Okay, let's talk about the circular saw first. The circular saw was a Ryobi, and it was almost brand new, and he said it didn't work. So I was like, okay, I'll take a look at it, and I might be able to fix it. So I cracked it open, and I was like, there's a high likelihood of a chance that it was dropped, and the wire connections pulled loose, connecting the power cable to the circuit board. So I reconnected them all. I plugged it in and gave it a shot. Didn't work. So I fiddled with it for about an hour or two, and I broke it down some more, check out the motor. And the motor, he told me before I took it that he had somebody previously look at it, and they changed the brushes in the motor. So I was thinking that maybe I was right, and it was dropped, and the wire connections were loose because they look loose. And the guy that went in and changed the brushes messed something else up. So ultimately I ended up scrapping it. Now, that was kind of sad, because I have a circular saw and it works fine, but this was a really nice one. So kind of sad, but you know, my intent was to scrap it in the first place. So with it not working, that just solidified my initial my initial plan for it. So it wasn't the end of the world. What was sad about it was there was a large portion of the body was aluminum, but the way it was put together, it was just like, it wasn't worth it to break it apart. So I ended up basically giving it to the neighbor. I did take the motor off because it was all copper. So the motor, the wiring, and the extension cord was all copper, and there was a light that was brass. So, you know, all that kind of added up a bit, but there was probably 2 to 3 pounds of aluminum, which would have been about $1.50. So, a little sad, but it is what it is. I could have kept it, and I was going to try to melt all the aluminum in a regular fire and just have like a puck of aluminum, but it was too big. Like, the thermal mass, it might not even have got hot enough. So like the small pieces of aluminum, I could see being able to do it. Like, I almost could melt brass in a big enough fire. So aluminum isn't that big of a deal, but when it's a big chunky piece, it takes more energy to get it started. So, and I don't have my furnace anymore because, well, 1, it rusted through, 2, I didn't feel like remaking it again, and 3, it caused complaining, so I decided that it's just not worth it. So I ended up scrapping that out. But Yeah, so it was still an okay amount of copper. And then the microwave, I took the wiring off, of course. I took the big, huge capacitor. Deer. Probably can't see it, but there was two of them, at least. I took the big, huge capacitor off. And I did the scratch test, because often new microwaves, the capacitor, the bottom piece is aluminum. The bottom wiring is aluminum, and the top wiring is typically copper. So I was like, I'll check it out, and the bottom was aluminum. But I went ahead and broke it down anyway, because I figured it wouldn't take that long. And the top one happened to be aluminum as well. So that was another sad moment. So ultimately, I didn't get nearly as much out of them as I was expecting. But I was cleaning the attic, and I found some metal candle holders, and I found an old style rotary phone, and I went and took them apart. Well, the candle holders, there were some of them that were steel. They were just brass. They just looked like brass. And they went straight to the neighbor for his junk collection. And the rotary phone, though, I took it apart. And here's my suggestion to scrappers. You see old rotary phones and you think, oh man, that looks like a bunch of plastic. Get them. Take them apart. I probably got more out of the rotary phone than I got out of the saw. There's the deer. Probably can't see it. There he is. There's two of them. But I probably got more out of the rotary phone than the saw, because they had the old style capacitors, or the old style resistors, or whatever they're called, and it was like maybe half pound of copper and a half pound of brass. The ringing bit were brass bells, and they weighed a fair amount. So if you see old school rotary phones, don't write them off, because they could be worth more than a microwave if the microwave turns out to be aluminum. So that's your daily scrapping tip. So I found about a dozen of those plug-in Christmas candlesticks. I want to try to see if I can rip them apart, but I don't know if she's going to allow it, because them taking up space and getting dry rot in the attic is better than being gone and not taking up space, getting dry rot in the attic. I could try to sell them, but be lucky to get $1 a piece, and it's probably 50 cents worth of copper in each one. So it would just skip the middleman, and I'll break it down for a little less, and I ain't got to deal with it. We'll see what she has to say about that next trip, because I spent about 3 hours, maybe 2 hours, going through the attic stuff, and there's just so much. There's so much stuff up there. Most of it's completely disgusting, pointless stuff. I found here's something funny. All right, I found old sand darts I did when I was a kid, and like a couple of them I picked up, and they just fell apart. I took one down. It was like a horse or a giraffe or something, and I held it in front of her face, and I crushed it in my fist. It was just so old that it took no force whatsoever. It took no effort to break it. So yeah, anyways, so I've been doing a tad bit of scrapping. I have an okay amount saved up again, but I don't want to take it in until the prices go back up, or I'm super low on cash. And like right now, I'm not doing great with money. Like I don't have a ton of money, and I need to save some for, well, a couple days away is Halloween, or the trick-or-treating. So I'll be going out to the bar and going to the dance and trying on my new costume. So, you know, I want to put money back for that. But I'm not so far out of cash that I need to go take all my copper and turn it in for, you know, $1.50 a pound. I want to try to wait till it's back up to $3 or $4. Will that happen? I don't know if it'll happen before I leave. But it's probably not going to go any lower. So that's something to keep in mind. Like, it usually goes up in the spring, and it usually levels out till about fall. Then it drops, and then winter rolls around, and less people are scrapping, so the price goes back up. I imagine that's kind of like how the market works. Oh, it's starting to get dark already. Am I going the wrong way? Yeah, I think I'm going the wrong way. This is is it? Yeah, I think it is. See, that's what happens when you go the opposite direction. Things look different. I think is this the right way? Yeah, I think that's the trail over there. Can't get lost down here. I mean, you'd have to be brain dead to get lost down here. I think that's it. I can't think of anything else worth talking about. Like, today's the 21st. Trick-or-treating and the Halloween dance is on the... There's those deer again. Now, that one's closer, but you can't see it through all the trees, I bet. But, yeah, trick-or-treating and stuff's like 4 days away, so that'll be kind of exciting. I won't be taking my camera because I don't do that camera stuff. I'll probably do my normal routine. I walk every street in the town I live in to look at the decorations and see all the different costumes and stuff. Then I'll probably get dressed up, or I'll be dressed up for that, and then I'll go down to the dance. And after I go to the dance and be all alone and watch everybody in their cute little groups being happy, I'll probably shoot over to the other bar, snag a couple drinks, and play pool alone. That will probably be how it goes. Like I don't go out with friends. I go out to watch everybody else with their friends, because that's how this world works. That's how my life is. Now, who did this? That's annoying. That's annoying. Alright, I'm about a football field away from the hill, and I still want to chit-chat when we get to the top, so I'll try to think of something worthwhile talking about. Oh man, you know you're getting a workout when you can hear your heartbeat in your neck. We're up the hill. So, smooth sailing now, unless I decide to take the other big hill, to take the other street back to the house, which there's a good probability I will. I still got a lot of juice left. metaphorically and physically. So, we'll see. We'll see. I do gotta say, I feel ever so slightly better doing these hikes now that I have a phone. Like, yeah, if it came down to a confrontation, the phone might not mean much, but if I, break my leg, it's a decent asset to have. So, yeah, that's my feelings on a phone. I ain't got no friends. I don't talk to no one. But at least if I break my leg, I might not have to army crawl 3 miles. Silver linings all around. I was headed up the hill, and I heard a rustling in the bushes. There's bandits in these woods. Saw a little raccoon. Couldn't have been more than 2 years old. It was freaking adorable. I tried to get the camera, but he didn't stick around long. It was climbing up the hill, and I was watching it, and it got like maybe 10 feet away, and I was like, "Hey, what you doing, little buddy?" And he turned around and ran like crazy. I was terrified. I should have kept my mouth shut and got a quick little video clip of it, but live and learn. Live and learn. It's almost dark. I'll be out of here before it's dark. Well, probably. Got about 20 minutes to go, but it should be alright. I would like to say I'm surprised there's like no people. But then again, this is America. There isn't a place around here to get a double cheeseburger. So why be here, right? They doing a bit of landscaping themselves, I see. This is all new. I haven't been out here in like 2-3 weeks. Guess they've been getting some work done. Don't know what exactly they're trying to accomplish, but they're doing something. Hey, I mean, if I got paid like $20-30 an hour to drive a giant Tonka toy to move dirt from one place to another place just to probably move it back, I'd probably do it too. That's real good busy work. I'm not qualified. Alright. I think I'm going to walk out of here in silence because I pretty much covered everything. Like, this is probably an hour-long video. I think I touched upon the topics I wanted to touch upon. Alright. So thanks for watching, guys. And I'll catch you next time if I don't get mauled by a bear or shot. It is hunting season. There shouldn't be anybody out now, but I think it's I don't think it's turkey yet. It might be muzzleloader for deer. I'm a little out of the loop on the hunting scene. Haven't done it in a long time. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll catch you eventually. Alright, I don't know if you can see me. We're going to try to make this real quick because cars keep passing me and I got to keep putting the camera down. I highly doubt you could see me, so I have you pointed towards the sky so you can see the stars maybe. But anyways, so something peculiar did happen. Last couple of days I've been having trouble connecting to my internet. So when I go into my internet list to connect to my router, I seen a thing on there that says FBI surveillance. Now, my joke thought was, that's what I get for pirating music, right? But I thought about it some more, and I'm like, I highly doubt anyone around here... Well, no, I don't want to say Here comes those cars I keep talking about. And I don't want to say... I don't want to say that no one around here does anything bad enough for FBI surveillance to be a thing. It's just I don't see the FBI making it so obvious. What I think is somebody got a camera system that has a Wi-Fi connectability, and they named it FBI surveillance to be funny. That's what I'm thinking. Because where I used to work, one of the places I used to work, we had a camera system that emitted a Wi-Fi signal, but you couldn't like actually connect to it. So I was thinking that that's probably what it is. But I also, like, that's super weird. Like, but then again, I mean, this place is super weird, so. But I did want to make a note of it, because, I mean, I don't do anything. I don't think I do anything bad enough for FBI to be interested in me. But depending on what people say about me, and that I'm technically a YouTuber and an influencer, I guess there's always those odds that somebody's doing something. But I assume that it's somebody named their camera system FBI surveillance, thinking it was funny, or somebody around me is like doing something extra bad, like the potential baby farm or the potential drugs. But I'm going with my initial thought that somebody got a camera system that emits a Wi-Fi signal that you can't connect to, but they named it FBI surveillance to be funny. That's my guess. But we'll see. Like I said, I don't think the FBI would be that frank about it. And if they were, I would either think they are really dumb, or they already caught the person and they don't care if they know. But if that was the case, why play games and why not just go get them? So I don't know. Later on, guys,